This is sample problem number 9 from the sample final. This is a solubility product question. What products, if any, will precipitate if solutions of potassium carbonate, aluminum sulfate, and lead nitrate are mixed? So, the way I solve these is you first want to figure out what ions are going to be made when the chemicals dissociate into solution. So this guy is going to make 2 potassium plus ions plus a carbonate 2 minus ion. Now you have to know your polyatomic ions. If you don't know those, you can't do these problems. You got to know that carbonate is 2 minus charged, and potassium, of course, is a group 1A, so it's always plus 1. The next one, you're going to have, oops, a little mistake there. You're going to have 2 aluminum plus 3 ions, and you're going to have 3 SO4 2 minus ions. Now you have to know that SO4 is 2 minus. If you don't know that, you can't do this problem. If you do know it, if there's 3 2 minuses, then that makes minus 6 from that side of the chemical. Therefore, to balance it out as far as being neutral, you need to have 2 plus 3s. So that's how you figure out that Al is plus 3. The next one, NO3, is negative 1. So you'd have 2 of those. If NO3 is negative 1 and you've got 2 of them, that means that Pb has to be plus 2. So the next step, once you have your ions, you need to combine the positives with the negatives with each of your species. So what I do is I draw arrows. K plus to SO4 2 minus. Check your rules. You have to have your rules memorized, otherwise you can't do these problems. K is always soluble, so nothing's going to happen there. So I don't write anything below. I then go from K plus over to NO3 minus, and that's of course soluble as well, so no reaction. Next step, you want to go from your Al to CO3 2 minus. That will be insoluble. So how are you going to write your equation? Well, you've got 2. Remember, the 2 just came from the one above, up here. So in reality, all you have is a Al3 plus. It's going to combine with CO3 2 minus. It will combine Al2 CO3 3. That's going to give you, that's kind of a bad C. That's going to give you plus 6 and minus 6 to give a neutral compound. Next step is to go from Al3 plus over to NO3 minus. That's soluble. NO3 is always soluble. The last 2 steps is to take Pb, go over to CO3 minus. When you do that, you'll realize that Pb is not soluble with CO3 minus. The formula is PbCO3 because both ions are plus 2 charged. The next step is to take Pb over to SO4 2 minus. Again, if you know your solubility rules, you'll know that that's not soluble, and its SO4 is 2 minus and Pb is 2 minus. Oh, messed something up here. So these are the 3 guys that will precipitate when you mix these chemicals. The other combinations were soluble, so they wouldn't form any precipitates. And I use the arrows to just check off each combination. If something happens from the combined arrows, I write it down below. If it doesn't happen, I just don't write anything, but the arrow there tells me I checked it out. So this is sample final number 9.